I guess I'm a little bit different kind of organization than I'm representing here. I'm with the National Collegiate Inventors and Innovators Alliance, so we share a lot, and actually work closely with some of the folks up here on the platform and lots of you in the room here today. We do funding, we do programs to help disperse funding provided by philanthropic and government sources to develop programs in entrepreneurship and higher education, and to help stimulate and launch the next generation of innovators and entrepreneurs. And I want to start out with some examples, I think, to give you a sense of what's possible. This first one is a green materials, clean tech company started by undergraduate students. A couple of engineering students came up with a way to make negative carbon material and use it for high performance packaging. And they're growing very quickly. They've gone from 0 to 50 employees, raised millions of dollars, and are really generating a whole new sector replacing petrochemical materials for packaging. Next one, this is a sort of base of pyramid focused global company started by an undergraduate at the University of Illinois. He now is living in China, selling products to India, and equipping 10,000 rural villagers with off-grid lighting at very, very low cost, making a big impact and making some money as well. Next one is I think, something that you don't think of happening very much, but it's a U.S. steel company exporting around the world. This is a company started by a graduate student, and what they're doing is making a product for reinforcing concrete without rebar. Substantially reduces the environmental footprint and cost of using concrete. You can do some amazing things like almost bend it in half and not have it break. They're growing very quickly, on track to probably be a billion-dollar company, and really have a transformative effect in the world. So these are all things that came out of programs at universities that engaged young people at a very early stage. And our program, we've been operating for 15 years. We have engaged thousands and thousands of people with innovative ideas. Through our grants programs, we've provided direct funding to teams of emerging entrepreneurs as an educational experience for credit to launch their companies. We've got 100 companies roughly that have successfully launched out of that. These are technology-based companies that are engaging private investors, over $100 million in private equity investment, tens of millions of dollars in government, SBIR type investment, and producing substantial impact, creating jobs and so forth. So it's real, we should celebrate that. They're coming out of programs in entrepreneurship. And we went back, we got some funding from the National Science Foundation to look at what's going on in engineering entrepreneurship. And there's a lot of good news here. When we started out, entrepreneurship was something that was sort of foreign and got a kind of a tissue rejection from most faculty on the technical and scientific side. Now you find an engineering hard-pressed not to claim that they have an entrepreneurship program, whether or not they do. The reality is that many of them do. 2/3 of engineering schools have some sort of offerings to provide to their students in science and technology, often based in the business school, which has its downsides and liabilities, and often difficult to get into, which I'll come back to. But 1/3 of those programs, so this is over 110 programs in the United States, and the number associated with the 2/3 is about 240, offer a deeper sequence, offering some credentialing, a sequence of opportunities to learn about the different stages, and actually in many cases to go deeper and have immersive experiences and start a company when you're in school. And there's some folks in the room here who have some of the exemplary programs in that space. But we face a lot of challenges. There are problems with the stability of those programs, their political power, accessibility of courses to individuals across the spectrum, and across for interdisciplinarity, a lot of duplication and creation of parallel programs that don't actually offer a lot of added value, and fragmentation of the experience. And this is something a couple people have talked about today, and I think is one of the issues that we need to address. I think what we need to do is create pathways. So this is my pathway slide. You saw one from Kaufman. I won't go into the details of it, but we believe that there's both a pathway for the individual to develop as an entrepreneur and as an empowered and engaged person, as well as for the venture. And those things can happen in parallel if the linkage is there. We have our suite of programs that we do. You'll notice some overlap, and I think one of the things that we all need to work on is figuring out how these things connect with each other and create not a maze of programs, but rather a clear pathway. Because that's the only way that we're going to get to the scale we want to see. Thank you.